I'm not going to assign essays to my students anymore. It's the start of the 2024 school year. One of teachers' biggest complaints is grading essays, but if you ask your students what's the worst part of school, especially high school and college, it's probably writing essays. Here's how it's always worked. You get a topic, there's a certain style like expository or persuasive, and you have to go do research and find sources and then write an outline and do all this stuff. Well, anybody with a pulse knows the last couple of years, students have had access to generative AI tools like Chat GPT, Claude, Google Gemini, there's a bunch of them, even free ones on their phone. And they're trying to hack the system and say, write this for me. And then teachers started getting AI detection tools like GPT Zero or Turnitin.com. Spoiler alert, those don't work very well. Then students started finding pieces of software to run their AI outputs through to disguise the AI writing, and then it would pass the AI detectors. It's just an arms race, right? Like as a history teacher, during the Cold War, America gets this weapon, it's so big, the Soviets go get a bigger one, and then the Americans get the next size up. And it just never ends. That's exactly what's going on with writing in schools. If you're a college student, you know this, especially with writing. So what's the answer? I don't know what the answer is, but I have this theory, I made it up, it's not real, and I'll probably be wrong, but it's called the dead essay theory. And it just says, essays are turning into AI generated, AI covered up, AI detected, AI feedback and grading arms races back and forth between students and teachers. And I've tried to play that game, and I gave up on it. I just didn't know, so I don't do essays, or what do I do instead? Again, I don't know the answer. I just know that's the problem and it's not going away. AI detection is not ever going to catch up to AI generation. If you don't believe me, listen to what Chat GPT said about their own tool that they had to shut down because it didn't work. I'm quoting here from their website of their product page where you can't use their AI detection tool. Here's what it says. Our classifier is not fully reliable. In our evaluations on a challenge set of English texts, our classifier correctly identifies 26% of AI written text, those are true positives, as quote, likely AI written, while it incorrectly labels human written text as AI written 9% of the time, false positives. Our classifier's reliability typically improves as the length of the input text increases. Compared to our previously released classifier, the newest one is more reliable than previous. Okay, translation. 10% of the time it says you used AI when you didn't. So if your teacher gave 1 out of 10 random kids an F and said they cheated, they would be in trouble. They would get sued. They would get fired. You could win a lot of money if they tried to kick you out of college and you didn't actually cheat. This is from the company that makes Chat GPT in 2023. And guess what they found? Their AI detection tool couldn't keep up with the AI generation tool. Now, other companies claim they can do it. They cost a ton of money. They're not very accurate. Dead essay theory says this arms race is not worth fighting. It's 2024, the new school year starting. I'm not going to mess with it. It's just like the dead internet. If you've heard of this theory, the dead internet theory is that most of the content online is turning into AI generated content. Chatbots, AI agents are creating things. So if you have Twitter, half of your Twitter accounts are half naked chicks with 0 followers that just spam stuff. They're not real people. Same with Instagram. You get all these DMs about their WhatsApp chat and they want a job in the US because they have a cute cousin or something. It's not real. Well, the dead internet theory says AI generated chatbots create content and then other AI generated chatbots interact with them. And that's just going to overtake the internet, the blogs, the Instagram posts, the TikTok videos. There's even AI influencers now. They're not real people. Okay. I don't know if that's true, but you can see the parallel here to the dead essay theory. Essays are turning into Chat GPT created. Here's an example. Stealth GPT to hide your tracks. And then the teacher uses Turnitin.com to try to detect it. Some teachers even use AI feedback tools and grading on rubrics. I've messed around with this to just inform my practice, not to actually grade my students. But it's AI to AI, and there's less and less human interaction. It's probably going to happen with the internet. It seems like it does, especially on Instagram and Twitter. But if the same thing happens in school, which it does, I know, I'm a teacher, I've seen it in my students, why are we going to mess with that? I don't know what I'll do instead. I've done a couple of different options. Here's one I did last school year. Have my students use generative AI tools, Microsoft Copilot in this case, to create an essay where they couldn't go in and manually edit anything. They could only prompt it and say, write an essay on this, and paste in sources and give it feedback and say, like, how good could you get this AI tool to write like you and follow the assignment? Some of them were good, a lot of them were terrible. But that's not the grade. The grade was then evaluate how well the AI tool did at writing that essay. So you don't get a grade for getting the output from Copilot. It could have, a bunch of big words and 5 paragraphs. That's not the grade. The grade is take what you could get it to do and evaluate that and say, here's what we could add or take away, or what's missing, or what's wrong with the language and the vocab and the syntax. That was a fun assignment. I don't think it's going to replace essays altogether, but I've played with that and I liked it. Here's another crazy idea from left field. What about having students use generative AI tools to write instead of just turning in the output or even trying to hide that they used AI? Instead, as teachers, why don't we say this? Turn in the chat log. Give me a link so I can see what you said and what Chat GPT said back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and have a window into your thinking, your thought process, how you built an outline and added sources and tweaked things, and then grade based on the chat log, or at least have that be part of the grade so that students aren't trying to hide it, run it through Stealth GPT, and then I'm trying to catch them through some AI detection tool that's wrong at least 10% of the time. And by the way, some of them are worse. Turnitin.com is 80% accurate from a May study. Why are we doing that? Maybe we can grade how kids evaluate AI outputs. Maybe we can grade how students are chatting with AI. Or maybe we can have students do the original writing and then put it into AI and have it beef it up and show us that interaction through the link to the chat log. I don't know the answer, but as a teacher in 2024, essays are dead and I'm not doing them the old way anymore.